Coffee and fries. French fries and pepper. Oh, controller went to sleep again. How's everybody doing? Welcome back. Hope everybody got the break they needed. I got the break I needed. Cape Walker commences. Scout tutorial. Yay!
We've also confirmed that some of the enemies specialize in ambushes. Amanda's crew calls them scouts. They'll blend themselves in with the terrain and the vegetation. Then, when they see you, they'll swoop in. They fight pretty much like commandos, and will use clearing techniques to flush you out.
Привет.
In addition to wielding normal weapons, the scouts also carry wires.
Sounds like these guys know their CQC.
Could be. We've been getting reports of CQC attacks being blocked by wires. Stay alert.
A lot of McDonald's, obviously. What's going on, mustaches? How you doing? Welcome, welcome. Hi, sir. You know what? The filter in my furnace, which air conditioning goes through, maybe I need to swap my filter. I have a spare. It is so hot up here, and it's like set to 65 downstairs. It's 80 degrees plus up here, though.
It is an insult to us, Nikos.
Because of the guy you were talking about, Walker.
See, although it happened over 100 years ago. Back then, the political parties in Nicaragua were at each other's throats. The Nicaraguan Democratic Party hired an American mercenary to help counter their enemies, the Conservative Party.
And that was Walker.
After taking care of the conservatives, Walker decided to seize power in Nicaragua for himself, eventually making himself president.
The Democratic Party gave him an inch, and he took the whole country.
But it did not end there. Not only did he make English an official language, he tried to reintroduce slavery. Walker's goal was to build a Caribbean empire, centered on the American South.
Caribbean empire? Sounds kind of like what Coldman is trying to pull off.
The gringos are always like that. They invent some convenient excuse to trample all over foreign countries like they own the place. Peace Walker, ha!
What happened to Walker in the end?
A united Central American army led by Costa Rica kicked his ass and sent him running back to America.
Then why don't we do the same? I, for one, don't intend to let Coldman get his way.
Good idea. I'm glad we have you, boss.
Big boss!
Chico, you know much about Cloud Forest?
Not that much. All I know is there's a world of difference between a rainy rainforest and a foggy cloud forest. But they have some things in common. But like for instance, you gotta watch out for poison dart frogs. Both rain and cloud forests have high humidity, so they're perfect environments for frogs and other amphibians. I mean, it's not like just touching a strawberry poison dart frog or a dying dart frog is going to kill you. But don't eat them, no matter how hungry you get.
I can get all the rations I need from Mother Base. No jungle food for me this time.
Seriously? You're not disappointed you don't get to eat wild animals?
What do you think I am?
Just kidding. In Colombia, though, there's a frog, the golden dart frog, that's lethal to the touch.
How do you know all this?
Come on. Don't you think poisonous animals are cool?
Not if you get poisoned by one.
Well, obviously. One more thing. When you get to the forest, be on the lookout for Bigfoot.
I think I'll be okay there.
Well, you never know.
Bigfoot is an ape man that lives in the Rocky Mountains. In the local Indian language, he's known as Sasquatch. And get this, he's over 3 vara. Can you believe that?
So he's kind of like a gorilla?
Completely different. Even the biggest gorillas only get to about 2 vara, and they walk on their knuckles. Bigfoot's big, and he walks on 2 feet, like people.
So he's more man than ape?
Probably. His ancestors must have split off from humans at some point. Like before they started using tools and stuff.
Yeah, but aren't the Rockies kind of far away from here?
Not that far. According to Darwin, humans came all the way over here from Africa. Plus, there have been sightings in Venezuela of an ape man called Mono Grande. Costa Rica has tons of plant and animal species. So I'd expect there to be at least one kind of ape man.
At least?
Mono Grande.
Gotta admit, I've never heard of Mono Grande.
Yeah, he's not as famous as Bigfoot. He's similar, but he lives in Venezuela. He's not that big, less than 2 vara, but he's way more ferocious than Bigfoot. Huh. I wonder just how mean he is. Like when he catches his prey, does he punch it to death?
That's the law of the wild. You catch your prey, you kill it, and you eat it.
Yeah. But punching is way more ferocious than biting.
Well, maybe it seems that way because
know.
that's what humans do. You really love UMAs, don't you, Chico?
You know what I think? I think UMAs should be dangerous. Otherwise, where's the fun in hunting them?
Huey's got a lot to say. Cold War. Clear arms race. 20 more minutes. 40 or 80 minutes of tapes.
Doc, I'm starting to sense your feelings about nukes are a little different from your colleagues.
How do you mean?
Don't stare at the cap.
Chap
See
with
star.
Coleman back there.
I told you my father worked on the Manhattan Project, right? You're familiar with it?
The basics, yeah. It was the project that kicked off the nuclear age.
That's right. Some of the finest minds of the 20th century, including multiple Nobel Prize winners, worked on it. They spent over $2 billion, and that's in 1940s money. It culminated in the successful nuclear test at Alamogordo on July 16th, 1945.
And the first use in combat a few weeks later. Doc?
I can't walk.
What?
My spine isn't shaped like everybody else's. I can't move my lower body, so I've never taken a single step, not since I was born.
What's that got to do with your dad being in the Manhattan Project?
As a result of his research, my father was exposed to high doses of radiation. It can't be a coincidence that my chromosomes are messed up. That's why I didn't want for these nukes to be another sword of Damocles. I wanted to give them a real purpose, to be a deterrent against war.
Doc.
And Coldman, we have to stop him, whatever it takes.
Hiroshima. Nagasaki.
August 6th, 1945, Hiroshima. August 9, Nagasaki.
The atom bomb attacks on Japan.
My father was married to his work. I don't have a single memory of going places or doing stuff with him on weekends. But even as a kid, I knew on some level that it was for his family. I respected him. My mother used to tell me all the time, "Your father is a brilliant scientist. He saved countless American boys from death. You should be proud of him."
Yeah. You could say the war ended because of those bombs.
When I was in the 5th grade, a Japanese student transferred to our class. She showed me photos of Hiroshima after the bomb. I couldn't believe my eyes. A city of over 350,000 people reduced to a scorch mark on the ground by a single atomic bomb. Houses blown off their foundations, burned to ashes. The only things left standing were the skeletons of steel-framed buildings. And it wasn't just the buildings. Blackened corpses on the side of the road. Survivors covered head to toe in severe burns. Within a few months, over 70,000 had died in Nagasaki, twice that in Hiroshima. For years after that, I couldn't talk to my father. Couldn't even stand to look at his face.
I know how you feel, Doc. But your
Distracting,
father's your
at least.
father.
If he hadn't worked on that project, my body wouldn't be like this. I could be researching something else. I could have lived a normal life.
Oh, there's some cool stuff coming up. We're gonna be here a while. Giving you a peek. Giving you a peek.
It wasn't so long ago the world stood on the brink of nuclear war.
Just over on the other side of the Caribbean.
I was 17 at the time. I'd skipped a few grades and was a sophomore at MIT. I remember feeling kind of apathetic about the news that came in every day. It seemed clear to me that as long as they had a grasp of the concept of nuclear deterrence, there was nothing to fear.
Either that, or they were fanning that fear on purpose.
As a way to secure a bigger defense budget? Huh, I can see that. But if that was their plan, it kind of backfired.
Because it ushered in the era of détente between East and West.
Coldman's really gonna do it this time. Once the nuclear genie is out of the bottle, the yoke of deterrence is going to be meaningless. People will die. Cities will burn. We have to stop him now before it's too late to turn back.
So you've been doing nuclear research your whole life?
No, not really. At first, I wanted to be an aerospace engineer. For me, the Sputnik launch was a good shock, not a bad one. I thought the age when science was used for war was over, and that a glorious age of space exploration was dawning. The year I skipped ahead and got into MIT, Gagarin went into orbit, which made me more excited than ever. Of course, even back then, I knew the space race was just another facet of the Cold War.
Moscow had a leg up on us, and we were desperate to catch up.
I know. But for me, it was a happy time. I joined NASA, got to do the kind of research I loved. Our nation's prestige hinged on our work. They gave us whatever resources we asked for. I knew you could turn a rocket into an ICBM by fitting it with a nuclear warhead, but that didn't bother me so much. It didn't last long, though. The space and nuclear arms races took up enormous sums of money. America beat Russia to the moon, but that's where it ended.
Then came détente.
Exactly. NASA's budget was slashed as a result. My father being a nuclear expert and all, they put me to work on a more obvious deterrent: missiles. At NASA, I'd been researching a locomotion system for lunar exploration. Tires aren't suited to driving around on the moon, you know. And that's how I caught Coldman's eye. Let's speak in hypotheticals for a minute. Say you wanted to make a clone of yourself.
A clone? Paramedic had the same idea. It's science fiction.
I'm just hypothesizing here. Okay, not a clone then. You have any kids?
Nope.
Wife?
I've never been tied down.
Okay then. So, we're still talking hypotheticals. Say you had a son who'd inherited your genes. Someone with the same combat abilities as you. Would you challenge
Eva did
him
have
to a
her hand
fight?
up your...
Not to sound cocky, but I wouldn't want to do that. No telling who'd survive.
I'll bet. You picked up on the Pupa 5000's combat patterns in seconds.
Only with your advice, Doc.
Well, if anybody could learn to do it just by listening, it'd be easy. But you're a born soldier. Yeah, you must have been born with genes geared for combat. Soldier genes, if you will.
Genes geared for combat? I don't care how advanced their research is. You can't blame genes for everything.
Blame genes? You think it's funny?
What?
You think genes have nothing to do with this body I was born with?
I don't know.
Look, that fear of facing someone of equal ability in combat, imagine that on a strategic scale. That's the concept of nuclear deterrence. The idea is, when all sides are armed with the destructive power of nuclear weapons, they'll avoid nuclear war in order to prevent mutual annihilation.
Doesn't sound all that sophisticated to me.
No.
Exactly. It's so simple in principle. But because it's so simple, whether or not it works properly depends on the people involved. In that sense, what we're looking at now is a malfunction in deterrence theory.
Yeah, because cuckoo.
You got it. Please, Snake, don't let deterrence die. The aim of the Peace Walker project is to achieve robust nuclear deterrence across Central America by deploying a new nuclear weapon system along the Caribbean coast. Peace Walker is also the name of the system itself.
A nuclear weapon named Peace. I can just see the look on Kaz's face. So why exactly does this new system need legs in the first place?
Because it's a walker. An unmanned weapon moving under its own power and capable of launching a deterrent strike from anywhere. That's the whole idea behind Peace Walker. The reason Peace Walker is a mobile nuclear weapon system is to maximize its potential as a nuclear deterrent.
How so?
If need be, Peace Walker can stay constantly on the move so that the adversary can't pinpoint its position. That allows it to avoid preemptive enemy strikes.
So you're saying it keeps the retaliation card in play?
Coldman likes to brag about it in this way.
Like a land-based version of an SSBN.
And there's another reason for them to be mobile. Peace Walker also has a self-destruct function.
Why would Peace Walker need a self-destruct function?
You saw it, didn't you, Snake? That sphere on Peace Walker's head?
Yeah?
That's a hydrogen bomb.
What? You're telling me that thing's a thermonuclear device? Do they have any idea what kind of destruction that thing would cause?
I know, it's crazy. I mean, even overkill has its limits. If it's strategic value they want, they could have gone with something smaller. It's like they want a weapon on par with Russia's Tsar Bomba.
This arms race is running way out of control.
It's an evolutionary dead end. A saber-toothed tiger. You can't load a warhead that big on a missile, of course. And no strategic bomber could carry it. That's where Peace Walker comes in.
So, it waltzes into enemy territory carrying a hydrogen bomb and blows itself up. Christ.
The biggest nuclear warhead ever actually detonated was the Soviet RDS-220, nicknamed Tsar Bomba. It had an estimated yield of 57 megatons, 10 times as much power as all the explosives used throughout World War II. The test took place on October 30, 1961, above Novaya Zemlya. The explosion is believed to have created a fireball over 2 miles in diameter. Can you believe that? Like a miniature sun. The explosion was seen as far off as Finland, 600 miles away. And some people even reported windows shattering. The shock wave traveled 3 times around the Earth.
3 times?
Peace Walker is armed with a massive hydrogen bomb, even more destructive than Tsar Bomba. It can sneak into enemy territory, lie low, and in the event of an enemy nuclear strike, detonate itself in retaliation. And the locomotion system that lets it do that? My research. Snake, those legs were supposed to make my dream come true. Now they're about to jump the fence of nuclear deterrence. You have to stop them. I'll apply all my energy into developing weapons and equipment to help you do it.
Sounds like a deal. What made you put an AI into Peace Walker?
Well, for one thing, because it can't be manned. Peace Walker's designed to enter enemy territory and blow itself up, if necessary. You can't put a person inside a weapon that could blow at any time, can you? So we equipped it with an AI instead.
That's strangely humane of you.
And besides, Peace Walker was designed as a bipedal weapon system. You can't imagine how hard it shakes when it walks. It'd turn a man into mush. Plus, when launching a nuclear missile, it has to perform ballistic calculations in real time. See? Because it's always moving.
Hold on. If that's all it does, then a high-performance computer ought to do the job. It doesn't need intelligence.
That's a very good point, Snake. Which brings me to the real reason. Peace Walker needs AI to make decisions regarding nuclear retaliation. It's what ensures perfectly mutual assured destruction.
I've heard all this before. You want a war between machines?
We'd never actually launched the first nuke, of course. It's strictly a counterattack system. Only a politician could make such an illogical decision as starting a nuclear war.
Conversely, there's a lot of those, though.
If an adversary launches a nuke at us, the AI will not fail to retaliate. Therefore, the adversary can't launch. The AI guarantees it.
Even so, launching nukes without authorization?
Boomer captains have the authority to launch if land communications are cut off. It's the same principle.
Not even the captain of a boomer can make that decision alone. The way I heard it, that's the only situation where insubordination is allowed.
Only because humans are imperfect. That's Coldman's line of thinking.
You're saying that machines don't make mistakes? That's a myth. Worse than that, it's blind faith.
We wouldn't put our faith, our fate, into the hands of any ordinary machine. That's what the AI is for. The decision to launch a retaliatory strike requires high-level judgment. You have to take into account not only the state of the war, but the entire world. And sometimes, you need to make a guess based on incomplete information.
Huh. You think an AI can do all that?
Yeah. At least Dr. Strangelove does. Peace Walker is fitted with several close-range weapons. We'd also planned for it to be able to enter enemy territory and self-detonate.
Wonderful. What exactly are we dealing with here?
Well, the flamethrowers for one thing. One in the front and one in the rear. Then there are the S-mines. They're like cluster bombs. It scatters them from its leg hatches. If you see those open, you better clear out quickly. And finally, the rockets. These can travel quite a distance, so stay sharp. On the other hand, it can't fire them from too close. But then again, there are those flamethrowers. It can also use its legs as weapons against any infantry on the ground.
Ouch.
But remember, Peace Walker technically isn't complete. With just the reptile pod, it can only perform relatively simple maneuvers.
Like stepping on and shooting you.
They've got certain quirks, too. What's more, look carefully,
or burning
and
you.
You should be able to predict which attack is coming next.
Did I mention stepping on, shooting, and burning you? Relatively simple.
Okay, but why does Peace Walker need to walk on two legs? I'd think treads would be good enough.
You'd be wrong. As you know, the terrain in Central America is rugged and complex, especially along the Caribbean coast of Costa Rica. You've got jungles, swamps, mountains, and the only way to get across all that terrain, no matter how rugged, is on legs.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be tough to cross a swamp, even on legs?
It wasn't easy, that's for sure. The reason we picked Costa Rica as a proving ground is because we can test it on every type of terrain.
This Peace Walker project the CIA's talking about, you believed in it, huh?
Yeah, I believed. Actually, maybe I just wanted to believe.
What do you mean?
Here's how Coldman explained it. Peace Walker's a weapon for peace. One to ensure true nuclear deterrence. It'd be the anchor to bring stability to Central America. He told me, the nuclear weapon system you've built will never be used. It will forever stand vigil as an icon of peace. And to achieve that, he needed my bipedal locomotion technology. To be honest, I was flattered.
Flattered?
Wouldn't you be? My colleagues in the scientific community have never taken me seriously. They told me bipedal locomotion was a pipe dream, that it'd never amount to anything. It was the first time anybody recognized my work. How could I not be happy? And besides, it was my chance to surpass my father. To create nukes for peace. Or so I thought anyway.
But Coldman's really going through with it.
Yeah. Makes perfect sense, really. No one would give the project any notice unless they could prove that an unmanned system is capable of launching a nuke.
Nukes for peace.
Why is Coldman gonna launch a nuke? If all he wants to do is prove the AI retaliation system works, he doesn't need to put a live warhead on it.
Gee, you think?
He could demonstrate the system by launching the missile alone, without a warhead. I asked him the same thing at first.
Yeah, but
he said there was no point in using a dummy missile.
Because
that it'd take an actual nuclear launch to deter potential enemies.
Yeah, not actually.
Launching the real deal gives him a leg up in negotiations with Langley. That's what he's really after.
Bellevue. Langley. Bellevue. Cuckoo.
I based the bipedal locomotion technology used in Peace Walker on Soviet research. Actually, I'll be honest with you. I stole most of the basic ideas behind it.
Soviet? Bipedal? You mean Granin?
You know him?
Yeah. I met him at his lab in Russia.
Shoes.
He helped me out a little bit.
You met him? What were you?
He was head of the Granin Design Bureau, creator of countless Soviet weapons.
I'd hit a wall in my research at the time. Granin's ideas solved nearly all my problems.
There's nothing unusual about using somebody else's work to further your own research, is there?
As long as you cite it, yeah. But I wasn't in a position to do that. His research was classified at the highest level. Soviet research, no less.
So, you used it without telling anybody?
I wanted to show up my colleagues for once. The ones who never took me seriously. But you reap what you sow. Coldman seized on that vulnerability. Told me if I quit the project, he'd expose my larceny.
He had you by the balls, Doc.
Well, someone did.
How'd you get your hands on Gronin's research?
That was also Coldman. He used his agency contacts to get a hold of it.
Giving you stolen information, then using it to blackmail you. Damn.
I knew it was Gronin's work the minute I saw it. See, I'd been corresponding with him for a while.
Corresponding?
Letters. Between scientists doing the same kind of research. He always complained that nobody understood his ideas on bipedal locomotion.
Ah, so you're the American friend he was talking about.
Obviously, he didn't write a word about the technology in his letters. Except for one time. If by chance anything should happen to me, I entrust my research to you. Better that than handing it over to these ignorant so-called scientists.
Sounds like him, all right.
Then one day, his papers actually came. It wasn't hard for me to imagine what had happened to him. I felt it was my duty to carry on his work after him. And also...
What?
I thought maybe combining his technology with mine could be a way to bring East and West together, like the docking of Apollo and Soyuz.
It'll never make the history books, and it's still not a reason to plagiarize.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I never had the courage to tell the truth, that's all. I always looked for excuses to cover it up.
Until now.
Huh?
You told me everything. You're no longer a coward.
Coward, that's the word. Oh, that comes later.
Metal Gear.
Huh?
Metal Gear?
You mumbled that when I first explained about Peace Walker.
No, you said it wrong.
I'm curious what it meant.
Metal Gear?
Exactly what it says. Metal Gear. Gronin coined the term.
Gronin did?
He thought of his technology as the metal gear that meshes infantry with artillery.
I like the sound of that. Metal Gear. It's got a nice ring to it. Better than an outright lie like Peace Walker, anyway.
Those papers the CIA gave you, was there any data on the Shagohod in there?
Shagohod?
A nuclear tank that launches IRBMs. It competed against Gronin's system for approval.
Oh, the thing with the rockets. Designed by a guy named Sokolov, right?
What's so funny?
No, I was just remembering some of the commentary Gronin added to the Shagohod papers. You should have seen the way he badmouthed it. It was too conservative, too ugly.
I can imagine.
He was so angry when he wrote that, he smeared up the ink. And you know how shoddy the paper is over there to begin with.
I'll bet. That's Gronin, all right.
Imagine accelerating the launcher itself to 300 miles an hour to extend the range of an IRBM. As stupid as it sounds, it's a hell of a concept. Who but the Soviets would think of using a tank as the first stage of a rocket? I actually took a cue from the Shagohod when I developed the Pupa.
That hovercraft thing? You stole that one, too?
Give me a little credit. I only borrowed the concept. The technology is original. As it turned out, hover technology wasn't enough to handle all the terrain in Central America. It relied too much on brute force.
But the Shagohod was a major threat. That thing could corner like you wouldn't believe. Built pretty tough, too.
You sure know a lot about it.
It almost did me in. I couldn't forget it if I tried.
Did you in? So you were the one who took it down. Wow! You really are amazing.
I didn't do it alone.
No, seriously, thank you. We might not be here today if they'd begun mass-producing that thing. Then again, they're hard at work now miniaturizing nuclear warheads. Pretty soon they won't even need an accelerated launcher like the Shagohod.
Great. That means they're that much closer to being able to launch from anywhere in the world. Chico called Peace Walker the Basilisco.
Basilisco? Oh, right, Spanish. That's funny. I once used the code name Basilisk for the Peace Walker platform myself.
What for?
The class of lizards called basilisks can walk atop any type of terrain. In a pinch, they can even stand up on two legs and run across water. Perfect name for a system that can walk anywhere in Central America, right? Plus, there are the legends.
What legends?
The basilisks of legend were highly venomous creatures. There's a story told by the ancient Romans. A knight slew a basilisk by piercing it with his spear. The creature's poison seeped up the spear and killed both horse and rider. Remind you of anything, Snake?
Nuclear deterrence.
Bingo. Kill it, and you die along with it. Your hands are bound. I wanted Peace Walker to be like that.
You should know that people aren't that rational. Sometimes people do things that don't make sense, even when they know they're going to die. Or maybe it's because of that.
Maybe you're right. But that's exactly what I don't understand.
I think Huey's a very conflicted character.
Hey, Doc,
good character.
What was that you were smoking in the
very
lab?
Interesting.
It looked like a cigarette, but it wasn't lit.
Oh,
that's a terrible joke.
It's an electronic cigarette.
Not funny.
I designed it myself. Pretty neat, huh?
Electronic cigarette.
Yep, a liquid in the filter that turns into vapor, and you inhale the microparticles.
So that was vapor.
I'd actually rather be smoking normal cigarettes, but not in that room. The smoke would wreck the precision equipment in there, ruin all its wiring. But the vapor is just steam. It doesn't contain tar or anything like that. So I can smoke it in the lab with no worries.
Nice.
Want to try one?
Nah, I'll stick with cigars.
Yeah, but...
I don't like imitations. The real thing's always better.
Okay. But you know, sooner or later, smoking's gonna become very unfashionable across the world. It hurts you and those around you. Electronic cigarettes might not seem so bad then.
Yeah, when that happens, I'll think about it. You said your dad was involved in the Manhattan Project, right?
Yeah?
And you think that's why you can't walk?
I don't know. Actually, you know, probably not. So far, nobody's found evidence that exposure to radiation in parents causes genetic defects in children, except for those exposed in the womb. Epidemiologically speaking, anyway.
That's the conclusion of the Atomic Bomb Casualty Commission.
Right. The ABCC commenced its study immediately after the war, and it's still ongoing.
Even now, 30 years later.
The effects of radiation exposure last a long time. I'm guessing it'll be another 10 years before we get a real verdict on whether it affects genes. Granted, it's the most massive study anybody's ever done. But that's really all it is, a study. The ABCC brought in bomb victims and ran tests on them, but they didn't treat them.
Really?
Hey, Mosey.
Them too, huh?
Happening.
At any rate, that's what my father made me believe when I was growing up.
Maybe it was tough for your dad to explain. Ever think of that?
Yeah, maybe. But this is my problem now, Snake. I have to face the nukes head on, whether I like it or not. My creations are being used for the wrong purposes. The onus is on me to stop it somehow. Help me, Snake.
A good chunk of tapes right here. And we're not done, but we're getting there. You hear that? He was getting there.
As long as I'm here at Mother Base,
son,
why not assign me to the R&D team?
You wouldn't know what to do even if you had gotten there.
Glad to have you on board. I'm sure Kaz is, too.
Once I've got the necessary materials and design specs together, I should be able to start building you that bipedal weapon platform. Nothing would make me happier than for my research to help put a stop to Peace Walker.
So this Dr. Strangelove was at NASA?
Yeah. Well, actually, Strangelove left for DARPA not long after I joined.
And then the two of you ended up back together doing research in Costa Rica.
Not exactly
Message coming in.
Together.
Patching it through.
We coordinated on a few
thank
things,
you
but the research projects themselves were separate from each other. We had it worked out so that Dr. Strangelove handled the mammal pod, Peace Walker's cerebrum, while I did the rest.
That letter. Something to do with your research?
Huh? No, it's a... yeah, it's a report. Research findings.
Research findings? Anything in there we could use against Peace Walker?
Nothing. Nothing at all. Just don't read it, okay? Promise me you won't?
Are there any large-scale ruins in Costa Rica, Paz?
There is a place east of Cartago called Guajabu. They have ruins there, but they're not especially big.
Not the place I'm thinking of. Any others?
Well, if you go a little way across the border into Nicaragua, there's a place called La Fortaleza de la Inmaculada Concepción. That is the only famous one.
Then what were those ruins I saw from up on Irasu?
There are a lot of things we still do not know about Costa Rica's ancient civilizations. There are giant stone spheres throughout the country. What they were used for is still a mystery. The cloud forests cover the central mountainous region of the country. They are perpetually shrouded in fog. You get wet just standing there. It is as if the entire forest is inside a cloud.
Must make for poor visibility.
It does, but beauty too. It is like being lost in some mystical green labyrinth.
I'd rather not get lost, if that's okay.
The forests are also home to lots of rare animals, especially bright-colored frogs. They like the humidity.
You know that butterfly painted on Peace Walker? Any idea what that is?
It is a morpho. A Pallades morpho, if I'm not mistaken.
Pallades morpho?
Uh-huh. It is the most common type of morpho in Costa Rica.
Huh.
It has these gorgeous metallic blue wings that shimmer in the light. You can see them even from a distance.
You mean they reflect light?
Correct. It is called structural color. Morpho scales have tiny bumps on them that interfere with the light and make them look blue. The space between the bumps corresponds to the wavelength of the blue light.
Let me see if I get this. So if you could change the spacing, you'd end up seeing a different color.
That is the principle. I heard somewhere it is being researched as a way to color cloth without dye.
Think of the camouflage you could make with that.
Is that all you can think of?
Hey, it's important. What I don't get is why they'd put a butterfly on Peace Walker.
Maybe because it looks pretty.
I hope that's all it is.
Giant sea star. Well, Selva de la Leche.
This area is a tropical cloud forest, continually covered in a thick mist. It is quite a mystical place.
Selva de la Leche. Forest of milk. I can barely see in front of me.
There you go again. The forest is basically sitting in a cloud, so of course it's going to be hard to see. But you know, the cloud forest is the only place many exotic creatures can live.
Well, if they're not edible, I'm not interested.
Snake, I'll have you know people travel from all around the world to witness Costa Rica's unique fauna.
And eat it.
Snake, watch out for the frogs.
Why? They bite? Relax. No frog's ever eaten a snake. Although, I've feasted on a few frog's legs myself.
But they are dangerous. They are poisonous.
Poisonous?
Poison dart frogs live up to their name, I assure you. Their poison is so strong, the Indígena use them to make poison-tipped arrows. Some secrete poison through their skin. Even touching them can be dangerous. So don't go petting them or anything.
So, I can't eat one?
I am warning you.
Welcome, man. How you doing? Tapes, more tapes.
From here on in, you'll be in a cloud forest. The ground is covered in vegetation. You'll have plenty of hiding places, but so will the enemy.
I'll keep an eye out for scouts.
Trying to force your way through would be suicide. Know the enemy's location before making any moves. Too bad you don't have some sort of radar.
I could try night vision.
Once you know where an enemy is, decide how you want to handle him. You could get into his blind spots.
Or drop him from a distance before he even has a clue someone's around. An eye for an eye, right?
Yeah, what's up? Without power. Since last night, it's like 18 hours of no power. What the hell is that? Happened. Oh my god, we're done with tapes for now. What were we doing an hour ago? Head north towards Central Heredia. Dr. Strangelove's lab lies hidden among Mayan ruins. Yay. Mark II supply marker must be under development. Big windstorm came through. Entropic, that's worse than my 2 months. Yeah, 2 months without internet.
Peace Walker is the heart of the enemy's project. To prevent its completion, you'll need to either shut down or destroy the artificial intelligence that functions as its brain. According to Huey, that AI is now undergoing final calibrations in Strangelove's lab. It's inside a tropical cloud forest. Slip in and terminate that AI before they ship it out.
Chapter 2, The Phantom. What? Hero. Kind of stands out now, doesn't it?
Snake, how's the mule treating you?
At this pace, I should be there by tomorrow morning.
You've got to hurry. The AI could be completed any time now.
It'd be nice to have a guide.
Already on it. I've enlisted Paz to help you. She knows the jungle pretty well.
Snake, I know you are an expert in survival, but you need to stay alert. You are in an ancient jungle so foggy, you can hardly see the trees. It is home to 2,500 species of plants, including 400 types of orchids. There are also 500 species of butterflies, and over 400 species of wild birds. The bedrock is solid enough that Mayan ruins have miraculously survived centuries of earthquakes.
An AI lab in a Mayan ruin. Who'd have thought, hey, Huey?
My sentiments exactly. That doesn't mean security's any less tight, though. You still have the ID card I gave you, don't you?
Got it right here.
I hope it works.
Gate, no problem. After that, you're on your own. As long as the AI remains unassembled, Coldman's plans on ice.
What about security inside the lab?
Well, it shouldn't be a problem for you. Strangelove demanded that the security presence inside the lab be kept to a minimum.
It's not all good news, Snake. Coldman knows we're here. He's raised security in the area surrounding the lab. You'll be seeing a lot of that Chrysalis UAV, and a bunch of patrol choppers too. There may be scouts in the jungle lying in ambush. As you approach the lab, be extra vigilant.
I'll be careful.
Strangelove's lab is a few miles to the north. It won't be long before the AI is complete. Don't let that happen.
Be long. Oh, man, I can't set the AC to a different temperature and make this work any better. It's gotta be the filter. Never been this ineffective.
If there's enemy scouts around here, they'll be nearly impossible to see.
La 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 la. Snake. Snake.
Watch out. Enemy search may not spot enemies that are actively hidden.
Is that a guy lying there? I think it is. Oh. No, it's not a person. It's been a while. There's some very well hidden enemies, and I'm not used to spotting them. Oh.
Nothing here. I just heard foot. Who are you?
Dude, awesome. What's going on? A cornered fox is more dangerous than a jackal.
Fulton recovery helicopter is complete.
Somebody there? Nothing here. Somebody there?
Fulton recovery subject confirmed onboard helicopter.
Hey, Camo. A mystery.
Fulton recovery helicopter is complete.
Osibo, how you doing? Never underestimate the common badger. To be continued. Man, it's hot in here. I'm going it alone. Ballistic shield design. A hind D. Woo!
Thanks for putting me on the R&D team, Snake. I'll cut to the chase. We've commenced development on our own bipedal weapon. The only thing is, we don't exactly have easy access to resources here.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have the budget of a defense department behind us.
I understand. That's why I want to ask you something. If you fight any more AI weapons, could you try to gather as many of their parts as you can? That would really make things go a lot smoother.
Again, easier said than done.
If anyone could do it, you can, boss. You single-handedly took out the pupa.
True.
Look, if you're not interested, I can just work with what we have here. I'm not trying to force you to take unnecessary risks. You're the boss around here.
All right. No promises. But I'll think about it.
Great. Also, each AI weapon has a head part that serves as the core of its armament. Recovering a head part will allow you to use the weapon associated with that part. But those guys won't go down without a fight, so don't get too preoccupied with this stuff.
Don't worry. I'm not about to risk my life for a bunch of scrap.
If you will, repeatedly. Because we'll need it later.
Our new bipedal weapon needs a name.
Good point. We can't keep calling it our bipedal weapon.
You could.
I had a talk with Miller, and we came up with Metal Gear Zeke.
Metal Gear? Zeke?
Yep. As you know, Metal Gear was coined by Granin.
And Zeke?
It's a name the U.S. military gave to Japanese aircraft that flew during World War II. Zeke was the Japanese Navy's best fighter plane. So are you okay with that, Snake?
Sure. Fine by me.
Miller was saying that an army without borders will need a deterrent against other countries. He's right. With Metal Gear, MSF can achieve true independence.
Here's hoping.
Personnel report. Yeah, I need to change the filter in my furnace during the next break. It is not. Something is not right. PC is not cool. Cooking. I'm cooking. New function, Metal Gear. Chaff grenade. Magpie up. Nighthawk up. Let's see, up. Food at 120%. Yeah, we're not at a break time. Might take one early, but man, I think I should have changed my filter already. It's hot. Huey never learns. Huey never learns. Nope. Attack chopper. Get to the chopper.
Snake, that's a hind. You've got to take it out somehow. Either neutralize the soldiers or bring down the chopper. Good luck.
Catarata de la Muerte means waterfall of death.
Yes, but it sounds so sweet when you say it, Paz.
I am sure it will be no problem for you, Snake. Especially compared to all the dire situations you've faced in the past.
Yeah, easy to say now. we'll see what really happens.
Sorry. Still, you have surprised me. Everything they say about the legend is true.
I'm neither hero nor legend. But for some reason, I don't mind you calling me that.
Thanks. Be careful, Snake. Peace.
Peace.
Don't even think about facing a chopper head-on. Guerrilla tactics would work well in a place like that. Moving from tree to tree will make it hard to get a fix on you from the air. That's your best chance.
Good thinking, Commandante. You clearly know your way around a battlefield.
Enough, boss. Time to stop talking and start using your ears. When you're hiding, you won't be able to see the chopper that well. It's important to use sound to get a read on its position. You could also try taking out its tail rotor. That would greatly reduce its mobility. And watch out for ground troops.
Copy that, Commandante.
I think I still have the law equipped. Should help.
Eliminate that squadron, Snake. They're trying to find you. Make sure they don't. Go around!
It didn't work? Well, that sucks. Uh-oh. Oh my!
Snake, what happened? Say something. Snake!
Peace. Hey Bolton, how you doing?
Neutralize the enemy troops. Strike before they spot you. Watch your back! Surround them!
Ruh-roh! Too late.
Missile loaded and ready!
I missed! You know what? Get plowed! Actually, this is a good crew to take back. Gino! Anybody left? No, I'm not gonna actually use C4 on him, but it does have... I think he's dead. He's dead, Jim. He's not dead. He's not dead, Jim. Just a flesh wound. Maybe. Oh, shit.
They've okayed your request for a cardboard box. It'll be sent out shortly.
Alright, that was one extra.
They've okayed your request for a cardboard box. It'll be sent out shortly.
Sorry, guys. Uh-oh. Didn't I have 6?
They've okayed the request for support. They're sending out a cardboard box as we speak.
Oh, there's a few. Nope. Nope. Did you just say backup units? Crap. I didn't make any promises about non-lethal, did I? God, I hope not. No! I didn't pick up my ammo. You just killed your own guy, or he bled out. I'm not sure which. I'm gonna blame you, though. As in him. Not you. Nice, Gus. Uh-oh.
They've okayed the request for support. They're sending out a cardboard box as we speak.
They're not giving me 6 anymore. They're giving me 3.
It'll be sent out shortly.
Gotcha. How you doing? Oh, there's 6. Uh-oh, miss. Oh my god! Nearly dead! Nearly dead! Nearly dead! Damn. That was sudden. Seriously? Oh, you're gonna do that. That's awesome. You know why? Because now I gotta call for one more!
They've okayed the request for support. They're sending out a cardboard box as we
Oh, there it is. You get to see it this time. Could you go bye-bye now? You die now! No? You die now! No? You die now! Get wrecked! Long live MSF! Heroism minus negative heroism. Could level up the law though. Bum, ba, bum. Sneaking suit. Sneaking suit. It's a good thing.
Boss, I'm starting to wonder if recruiting the soldiers with a Fulton isn't a little heavy-handed.
I already don't like where this is going.
I think the voluntary approach could be more pragmatic. Technically, we're not a corporate entity, but at our size, that's not too far from the truth. We can't keep using guerrilla tactics to find new blood. To search for volunteers, select recruit from the menu, or select trade to exchange soldiers with other mercenary units.
Yeah, provided we got the friends for that.
Killer whale, hostile. I think we're good on the sneaking suit. It was developed automatically, I believe. Let's check. What else? Ooh, he's hot. We need ID card H. Head for the lab.
Snake, infiltrate Dr. Strangelove's research lab and either deactivate or destroy the AI. The lab's built into some ancient ruins, so find those first.
Fundamentals of stealth.
The sneaking suit is a specialized uniform for stealth missions. It provides excellent camo in any stage. Even better, you won't make a sound when you walk.
Ooh, so I won't need to tiptoe all the time.
And to top it off, it also makes your wounds heal faster. The fabric exerts just the right amount of pressure on your body to help stop bleeding.
Huh. Not a bad little trick.
Snake, I need your opinion. How strong are the enemy's mercenaries?
They're well trained. They've got more than enough men. Seasoned, too. A lot of them probably saw action in Vietnam. They're a tough bunch. And armed to the teeth. I don't think I've ever seen a mercenary force field that many tanks and attack choppers.
It shows how much cash they have to throw around. And connections. How did they get access to such weapons?
How do you think? They're backed by the one and only CIA.
And here we are. Half of us farmers, and the other half students. Children, even. And weapons. We're so short on guns, we have to steal them from the enemy. As much as I hate to say it, we're always going to be on the defensive.
I know.
And mi viejo. Without him, we...
Yeah, I know.
I don't know if we can win. Can we, Snake?
Stop feeling sorry for yourself.
But...
Amanda.
What?
Listen to me. Don't ever let your men hear you talk like that. You're their leader, and a leader has to stand tall, even when times get tough, when it feels like the fear and uncertainty could crush you. You're the one your comrades look to for reassurance. That's what a leader is. Don't forget it.
Snake.
If you're looking for comfort, go find a church. That's all I've got to say.
You are right. I am sorry. I need to pull myself together.
You'll be fine. I know you have it in you.
Thank you, Snake.
Selva de la Muerte, huh? Forest of Death. Wouldn't want to get lost here.
Sure wouldn't. But do not worry. I will be your guide.
Happy to hear it.
By the way, Snake, you know much about sloths?
Just the name.
They are amazing. Sloths spend almost all of their lives up in the trees, except for when they have to go to the bathroom. Plus, they barely eat a thing.
What? How do they survive?
Why do you think they are called sloths? They hardly move, so they hardly burn any energy. They are also able to maintain a low body temperature, lowering their metabolism further and allowing them to survive on very little.
Wouldn't that make it easier for them to get picked off by predators?
They stick to the trees, helping them blend in and stay out of sight. They say there are even some sloths that grow moss when they reach a certain age, like some sort of fairy tale forest hermit, huh?
I knew a great old sniper once. Guess he was even more in tune with nature than I thought.
Old sniper? What are you talking about? La Ruinas de Xochiquetzal will be around there. They have not been restored at all, so they may well be covered in plants.
Xochiquetzal?
An Aztec goddess of fertility and beauty. They say she was always accompanied by birds and butterflies. One theory states she was the mother of the god known as Quetzalcoatl.
Quetzalcoatl.
The Quetzal is said to be an incarnation of Quetzalcoatl, hence its name.
I get it. Well, this place definitely matches the atmosphere of a cloud forest.
Now, it may have seen better days, but that is still a temple, so be sure to show respect when you're inside.
If the mood strikes me.
Well, you've got no one to blame but yourself if Xochiquetzal strikes you down.
The paths there are buried in vegetation. Work with nature to conceal yourself, and you'll be much harder to spot.
A ghillie suit would be perfect here.
In any case, take caution when advancing. Don't wear anything that stands out. The ruins are a labyrinth, so try and keep your bearings.
I could use those walls to stay out of sight.
Once a sniper is spotted, he'll move to another location. You shouldn't stick to the same place either.
Oh, I know. I learned all about that in the Soviet Union.
It is not necessarily a good idea to try to engage a sniper in close quarters combat. Finally, once you've found a place to hide, don't let them take you from behind.
Don't worry. No one sneaks up on me.
Oh my god, mission time! Can you believe it? Items, not weapons. Yeah, that would do it. Not using the mate yet, so. Bum bum bum. You should double check the tapes, just in case, you know. Don't want to miss anything. Could be super important. Fate of the universe could hinge on whether or not we caught every single tape. Better be sure. Nice, Wombat. Wait until we run into Cecile and she does all her animal imitations, including Quetzal.
Some scouts are really hard to spot because they use grass or dirt to camouflage themselves.
Seriously, monkeys, right Quetzal, it's good. Good times. So they mentioned ghillie suits, right? Ghillie suit. Ghillie suit. Here's the thing about ghillie suits, though.
Snipers and laser sights
not
are
bulletproof.
A deadly combination.
How about an ocelot?
Fulton recovered a helicopter. Fulton recovery subject confirmed onboard helicopter.
Cecile? Is this Cecile? It is. Meet Cecile, everyone.
Hey.
Tu m'as trouvé. C'est moi, le loup.
Tu caminades?
French. Fini de jouer à cache-cache. Dis-moi qui tu es.
Please, do not kill me.
You know, soldier.
I am a tourist.
What's your name?
Please?
What are you doing here?
Cecile. Cosima. Coming
What's the
out.
point of zooming in if she's in her underwear to begin with?
One of the soldiers? Please, lower your gun. Who are you?
I'm an ornithologist.
A poacher?
The gun's for self-defense. I'm looking for that one rare bird in Costa Rica.
Which one? The Quetzal?
Right, the Quetzal. They're rare, but they're not covered under the Washington Treaty.
The resplendent Quetzal is red-listed.
Really? You know your stuff.
I am an ornithologist myself.
Well, we'll have to compare notes later. Here, drink some of this.
Auntie!
You saved me.
Not yet, but yeah.
They told me this was a paradise. That there were more rare birds here than anywhere else. That there was no war here. That it was safe. They told me it was every bird's dream.
Every birdie's dream.
They were wrong.
What happened?
If only I had not recorded that stupid voice.
Voice?
I was trying to capture the Quetzal song. Making my way through a thicket, I saw immense runes towering before me.
I chase it away. It will bite you unless you kill it. Go home.
You're the
Go home, Jack.
I am loyal to myself. Who's there?
I was captured by that woman. But she was kind. She gave me food to eat and even bathed me herself each day.
Yeah, that doesn't normally happen in captivity, but go on.
She said I could go home in a month. So whatever you do, don't take off the blindfold. Do so, and you will never leave here.
Let me bathe you every day, and you can stay.
I waited for an opening. Stole an ID card. They almost caught me, but I managed to elude them.
You made it this far and then succumbed to exhaustion.
I was barefoot, with no supplies. Oh, I am so sorry. I drank it all.
Except for the part you dumped out.
That facility. Did you see anybody else in there?
Well, there was another woman, but I never saw her in person. Because, you know, the blindfold. Oh, yes. She often sang.
Sang?
It was such a strange song.
What kind of person was she? Could you tell anything from her voice?
I don't know. I don't even know why I was held a prisoner. They confiscated my equipment, my supplies, my passport, money, everything. The only thing I was allowed to keep were my undergarments, so that I would not be able to escape. And now, I am without even the means to prove who I am. I will not make it home to Paris like this.
In that case, come to our place.
Huh?
You don't need a passport there. Don't even need a name. If you
No,
want to go back
we
to
involve.
Paris, we'll take you there anytime.
You're a naked French woman.
There's a shower, a change of clothes,
You're invited.
and a cigarette.
I've got a cigar. It's Cuban.
No French cigarettes? I prefer unfiltered.
Fresh out. But come back to my place and you can have all the French cigarettes you want.
It sounds like heaven.
Close, but not quite. Outer heaven.
It is sounding better all the time.
So, you must have gotten a look at the facility when you escaped, right? What's in there?
Lots of machinery. A big computer, like you would see in a university.
What about the room where you heard the voice? Anybody in there?
I don't know. There was a tube. A large tube in the back. When I approached it, I heard a voice.
What did it say?
Go home, Jack.
Yes, it simply said Jack over and over.
Jack.
Listen, you've got to get me out of here. I really need a shower.
Wait here. I still got business to take care of.
What? You're not thinking of going in there, are you? You can't leave me here.
Relax. I'll have some friends pick you up.
This is Miller.
One for recovery. A civilian.
Snake, we don't have room for any more civilians here.
French girl.
Parisienne.
A what? So she's, pretty foxy?
See for yourself. If what she's saying is true, I think we found Paz's friend.
The missing one?
I'm thinking that she's the one that made that tape. Have her listen to it when she gets there.
So she's safe then. Good news.
I'm sure Paz will be glad to hear it.
You bet. Snake, the ruins are just up ahead. Head north.
On my way.
What about me?
Stay put. Ever wonder what it's like to be a bird?
Huh?
Cecile? A lot of tapes. Did I mention that? We're not quite there yet, but... I mean, a lot. They're good, though. They're really good. What I'm saying is, make more popcorn.
Start talking.
Against the wall. Love it. 7? Cool. You get a free ride. Come join us. I don't wanna grow up. I'm an MSF kid. There's a million toys at MSF that I can play with.
Be the man! You gotta beat the man!
Woo! More trains, more planes, more video games. It's the greatest toy store there is. I don't wanna grow up, because if I did, I wouldn't be an MSF kid. Buddy, what's up? What, you don't know old Toys R Us commercials? That's alright. Those commercials are older than half the people here.
What? It won't open.
Yeah, Huey's on the shit list. Friend zoned!
It won't open. What's wrong with
Yeah, Huey's been friend zoned. Sorry, it happens.
Snake?
Huey, your ID card isn't working. It won't open the lock.
It can't be.
What's going on?
She hates me that much?
Friend zoned!
Strangelove's in charge of authorizing IDs. Sometimes a working card has its privileges removed.
Like if someone gets friend zoned.
She decides she doesn't like that card's carrier.
You think that's what happened?
Well, I was never exactly her favorite. Well, this could be tricky. The soldiers outside aren't allowed in the lab either, so their cards won't do you any good.
Great.
Snake.
Kaz, where's Cecile?
She just got here. Hold on.
Snake!
Cecile, how'd it feel to fly?
Wonderful. For a moment, I felt what it must be like to be a bird.
Have some more wine.
I want to give up my research and get a pilot's license. Did you need something?
You said you'd gotten an ID card, right?
Yes, but it was confiscated when the guards got me.
Who took it? What did he look like?
He had an orange jacket. I cannot recall his face, though.
Yeah, they all look pretty much the same. Where did it happen?
Let me think. Ah, yes! I do remember hearing the song of a nearby Quetzal.
Just what I'd expect from a birder.
Would you like to hear it?
Huh? What's that song?
It's my Quetzal. I took it with me when I was rescued.
Didn't you say something about them being covered under the Washington Convention?
Just kidding. That was just me. An imitation. An essential skill for any ornithologist. Pretty good, no?
Damn good.
If you want to hear the Quetzal song again, just let me know.
Quick, now do a grave hag.
About the birds of Costa Rica, too.
Yeah, will do. Thanks, Cecile.
No. Thank you, Snake. Talk to you soon.
Kaz, did you play that tape for Cecile?
I sure did. It's hers, all right.
Then she must be.
She's not. Cecile says she's never even met Paz.
Dun dun dun.
She's at least 10 years too old.
What?
I'm guessing Paz convinced herself that it was the tape her friend made. But never mind that. Let's go over what we know so far.
Never mind.
The
Never
soldier
mind
with
that.
the ID card is wearing an orange jacket and is in a location where you'll hear Quetzal singing. Find that soldier, retrieve that card.
Cecile Cosima Caminades. Cosima Caminades. Bluegill, magpie, tsetse, halibut, goldfinch, lemur, seagull, hostile, sea hare, insect, hostile. Food, 137%. It's way too hot. Just have a window open and the fan going. It would work better than this. I'm gonna change that filter though. It's gotta be the filter. Locate the ID card. Make sure to leave room in your item menu to hold the ID card.
Snake, to gain access to the lab, you'll need an ID card. You can get one from a guard in an orange jacket stationed in an area where you can hear Quetzal singing.
Orange jacket,
To get
Quetzals.
the ID card from the soldier, do a body check. You've got to get inside that lab before the AI gets shipped out. Get a move on.
Did I say Cecile had a lot of tapes? You just, get what we're in for. He's got, a few tapes. Just a few. Popcorn? Anyone? Popcorn? Right, jibba jibba.
So
Jibba. Jibba. Ba 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 ba. Full tape. Come on now. Thank you, buddy. There we go.
What's wrong, Kaz? You sound beat.
yeah, the
well.
problems never seem to end around here.
You should take a break. Share a cup of mate with the other guys.
No,
It'll
no,
give you
no,
a chance
no.
to connect
Unless
with
it's
them.
iced
I wonder if
mate.
Che and his men ever sat around and drank mate.
I bet they did. Che was famous for his love of the stuff.
Oh, man, whoever thought of this was a genius. You can put it in a gourd and carry it around, and there's a special straw with a filter attached so you can drink it any time.
That's not all. It's full of essential vitamins and minerals, too. Nice to have in a guerrilla war when food is short.
Yeah. Wish I had a chance to share some with the blonde Parisienne when I was out hiking.
Well, how do you know about that?
It takes a thief. Or should I say it takes a snake to know one. Snake. Scouts are outfitted with camouflage to help them hide. Some of them look kind of weird, like they've got seaweed growing all over them.
Ah, ghillie suits.
Not much difference between them and any other scout in terms of combat ability. but it does make them harder to spot.
I'm sure it does.
You've come across these before?
Yeah, the Soviet Union. The first time, it took me a full hour to find the guy and take him out. Kaz, do you know what they shine?
Shine? Like how?
Like, from their heads.
Their heads?
How about their hair? Do they have a lot of it?
What are you talking about? How the hell would I know?
How about a parrot? Did anybody hear a parrot squawk?
A parrot? Look, Snake, you're talking to the wrong guy. I mean, Cecile's the bird expert.
Indeed
Wait
she
a second,
is.
what am I saying? You're not making any sense to begin with.
Never mind. It's a long story. I'll figure it out another way. Forget about it.
Yeah, I'll do that. Anyway, we've already lost too many good people to these surprise encounters. Make sure you don't end up like one of them.
Did you see a Quetzal snake?
Yep.
What do you think? Did it look like a snake?
No, it didn't look like a snake.
Oh, really? Must be different from the Quetzalcoatl then.
Quetzalcoatl?
Yes,
A
because
winged
it's
snake from
just
the
a
Mayan and
Quetzal.
Aztec legend.
A winged snake.
Weird, right? I bet it's UMA. Amanda and everybody says Quetzalcoatl is a Quetzal in the form of a god. But there's no way anybody mistake a snake for a bird. I think the legend of Quetzalcoatl came first. Somebody saw it and adopted it as their god before they saw the Quetzal. After that, somebody saw a bird that looked like the image of the god, and so they named it Quetzal.
You mean it happened the other way around?
Well, if you ask me, the Quetzalcoatl was probably a pterosaur that survived. I mean, it's got wings and it's a reptile, so it probably looks kind of like a snake, right? Pterosaurs live on in Africa even today. They're called the Congamato and the Elitziao. So it makes sense that there'd be pterosaurs on the American continent too, and that they survived until the Mayan and Aztec eras.
Wow. Lucky for us, they're not still around today.
Who says they aren't? The dinosaurs supposedly died out 65 million years ago, and the Aztec civilization only rose about 600 years ago. If they managed to survive 65 million years, surely they couldn't be wiped out in 600. Pterosaurs survive today in the African countries of Cameroon and Congo. Each tribe calls them by a different name, like Congamato or Litziao.
There sure are a lot of dinosaurs running around the Congo.
Well, a lot of the land hasn't been settled by humans yet. They've survived all this time, just undiscovered by man. But they're finding fossils in America too. This one they found 3 years ago in Texas had a wingspan of more than 12 meters. If I saw a gigantic pterosaur like that, I'd probably call it a god too. Yup, I'm sure that's what the Quetzalcoatl really is.
That was some escape you made from Strangelove's lab.
Security inside was not so tight. The door to my room was locked from the outside, of course. But she took off the blindfold at bath time, so she could wash my hair.
Huh. Pretty luxurious treatment for a prisoner.
You think?
Wasn't it? She wouldn't undo the handcuffs, but she washed my body for me instead. And with such gentle care.
Why'd you run away? Didn't she say you could go home in a month? If your escape attempt failed, you'd be in greater danger than before.
I was supposed to be giving a presentation on the distribution of Costa Rican bird species at a conference. The date was approaching quickly. So, I pretended I had to use the toilet and made my escape. I found an ID card and searched everywhere for my equipment and my tape. But a soldier saw me. It was a miracle I managed to get away. There was no time to find the tape. I do not care about the conference. I am lucky enough to still be in one piece.
You bounce back quick.
You don't?
Not sure. I try not to dwell too much on the past, but...
Then don't. There is no point. I'm so glad to be out of there. I never felt safe, you know?
Tell me about it.
Well, I think she's interested in women. And I think she took a fancy to me.
Oh, well, that's,
Besides, it is much nicer here.
If you need someone to bathe you, say the word. No blindfolds, promise.
Was it just the two women in the
Unless you
lab?
want.
Most of the time, oui.
And one of them, you only heard her voice, right?
Yes, that is correct. Such a wonderful voice. It sent chills up my spine.
What was the other woman like?
Ah, don't even think about it. She has not the slightest interest in men.
No, it's part of my mission to...
Only teasing. Let me think. I believe she was in her 30s. Pretty, with a good sense of style, but austere in her tastes. A very unusual woman.
And she was doing research on AI.
AI? So that is what she was up to. You know, she did say something interesting. That people should not be going into space. That it is too dangerous.
An automated control system for rockets, then.
She said something about wanting to get closer to her dying wish. I think she must have been talking about an old lover.
Lover? You mean another woman?
My, aren't we curious about women and other women? You want to hear the terrible things she tried to do to me?
That's not what I meant.
It's all right. You can be honest.
You two seem to get along awfully well together.
No, not at all.
I think you're hiding something.
Never mind. Aren't you supposed to be looking for the Quetzal? Here, I'll demonstrate its call for you.
I knew it.
Yeah, it's not bad, huh?
Let's go over this one more time. First, I need an ID card to get into the lab.
That is correct. From the outside, it looks like any other ruin. But on the inside, it is a state-of-the-art research facility.
And your ID card got taken away from you by some guy in an orange jacket.
Exactly. I had a Quetzal singing nearby. It has not been that long since it happened.
It could be tricky if he's out on patrol, but if he's a stationary sentry, you don't think the Quetzal's moved?
Its nest is probably nearby. I do not think it will go away anytime soon.
Good. I'll get on looking for that soldier.
If you forget what it sounds like, I will do the call for you again. Just give me a call anytime you'd like to hear it.
Yeah, I'll do that. Let me get this straight. You were in Costa Rica as a bird watcher?
Yes, I was. Not for pleasure, though. I am a researcher, after all. I am studying the distribution of Latin American bird species. With today's compact cassette tape recorders, even a woman like me can carry her recording equipment by herself. But it was a mistake to come alone.
Even so, there sure are a lot of wild birds in Costa Rica.
Aren't there? Over 800 different species. Said to be more than 10% of all living bird species on Earth. How many can you name, Mr. Ornithologist?
Hey, I was just trying not to scare you.
You should at least have a basic knowledge of Costa Rica. How about this? I will give you a thorough education, Mr. First-time Ornithologist.
Okay. Start by telling me about the Quetzal. Cecile, what's that machine you said you used to make those recordings of yours? Cassette, something or other.
A cassette recorder, or a cassette denske, as they say in Japan.
Yeah, that. What is that thing anyway?
A portable recording device released last year by a Japanese company, Sony. It uses compact cassettes, making it far lighter than open-reel machines. It still weighs 5 kilograms, but the exercise won't kill me. It is user-friendly too. All the buttons have markings on them, allowing you to operate it without looking at it. Can you imagine? Missing the shot of a lifetime, simply because you blinked?
Oh, that would be devastating. But where'd they come up with Densuke? Sounds like a Japanese name.
Allow me to field that one.
Kaz?
Densuke is a nickname that comes from the name of an old manga character.
Was he some recording nerd too?
Don't give me that. Recording atmospheric noises is an exhilarating art. There's nothing like capturing the real world in action on tape. It's just like taking pictures with a camera, only with a microphone instead of a viewfinder.
Oh, sure.
Listen to a tape with your eyes closed, and the scene just bursts to life in your mind's eye. Tell him, Cecile.
Absolutely. When I listen to the sounds of the birds in my apartment, it is like I am back in the forest, where I recorded them.
See? She's a Parisienne. She knows what's chic.
If you say so.
And what do you like to record, Monsieur Miller?
Me?
Monsieur Miller.
No question. The roar of the engine, the throaty steam whistle. More animal than machine. Don't get me started. Steam locomotives are a dying breed in Japan. I wouldn't mind going back for a bit and making some new tapes while I still can.
You are less civilized than I thought.
Less civilized?
I detest those beasts. The noise frightens off all the birds. Then there is the smoke. I much prefer the peace and quiet of the forest.
Cecile, wait. That came out wrong.
Sure it did.
All right. What do you want to know about Quetzals?
Give me the basics. Something that'll help me find one.
Okay then. First of all, as I'm sure you remember, the Quetzal's wings and back are emerald green, a dazzling blend of viridian fading into blue. Its belly is brilliant red, and its tail feathers are white. Such a gorgeous bird. Also, the male has 2 long decorative feathers, but only during breeding season. Among birds, males are usually more beautiful than females.
Like a peacock's tail.
Yes, just like that. It is interesting to note that while their bodies are only 40 centimeters long, many Quetzals reach over 1 meter in length when you include their decorative plumage. Quetzals typically build their nests by making holes in dead trees with their beaks, about 3 to 4 meters above the ground. They are omnivorous and eat everything from nuts to lizards.
Where can I find one?
Their habitat stretches across the entire tropical cloud forest. You may end up having to rely on its song to find one.
Good to know.
I will do an imitation. Listen closely.
Hey, not bad.
Shall I do a chicken next? Cluck, 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 buck, buck, buck.
No thanks. That's enough.
Are you sure? How about a monkey?
Yes, please.
Yeah, don't need that either.
All right, then.
Please, monkey. Monkey now!
You said you could do a monkey call.
Yes. Want to hear it?
Yeah, I won't be able to get it off my mind until I do.
All right. Here it is then.
That's pretty good.
I can do others too, like a sheep, a pig.
Keep going.
Yeah? Wow. What about a pig? That's uncanny.
Oh, I can do a rabbit as well.
A rabbit? Rabbits make noises?
Certainly, but they are very faint, so perhaps only someone who has owned one would recognize them.
I see. So, what do they sound like?
Listen very carefully.
Okay. Seriously? Rabbits sound like that?
I assure you they do. Listen again.
Never heard a rabbit do that before.
They do. I swear. Costa Rica is the home to many hummingbirds as well. The people here call them colibri.
Colibri, huh?
Hummingbirds are the world's smallest birds. Although they can vary from species to species, most are around 10 centimeters in length, and the smallest no more than 5.
Antonin,
it is
good evening.
Amazing to think that something so small can still be a fully developed bird.
I think a bird that tiny would get mistaken for a bug.
Actually, they are often mistaken for sphinx moths. The little darlings feed on flower nectar, and their beaks are long and thin to help them drink up the nectar. They beat their wings far faster than any other bird. The smallest ones, over 70 times a second. Can you imagine?
What for?
They hover in midair while they suck their nectar. They can even fly straight backwards.
Now that's cool.
Hovering. Like a helicopter. That's why Amanda and her unit called that chopper Colibri.
I think it is an insult to the birds to give their names to weapons. Don't you?
Don't ask me.
Monsieur Miller. No, really, we're totally within 120 minutes of Cecile being done.
Have you ever heard of the mannequins?
Never.
Unbelievable! You came all the way to Costa Rica, and you've never even heard of them?
I didn't come here to look at...
Mannequins are known for their beautiful courtship dances. The orange-colored mannequin is said to live on the Pacific side, the white-bearded mannequin on the Caribbean side, and the long-tailed mannequin is in the Central Basin. The long-tailed mannequins are especially distinctive.
What's special about them?
First, each young male picks an older male to teach him how to dance. Then, teachers and pupils all get in a group and dance for the females. However, only the teachers get paired off with females. The pupils practice their technique for 7 years before striking out on their own and finding their own pupils.
I guess it takes time to get good at anything, whether it's dancing or soldiering.
Mannequins always have plenty to eat. Apparently, that is why they have so much free time to practice dancing.
Unlike us, obviously.
The three-wattled bellbird.
Another well-known bird of the cloud forest is the three-wattled bellbird.
Wattled? What the hell's a wattle?
It is just like your beard, Snake.
What?
It is a piece of flesh that hangs down from its chin. Kind of like whiskers, but not made of hair.
A hanging piece of flesh.
George Lucas.
And it only grows on males.
Nothing
George
more
Lucas.
important to a man than his beard. So, these birds are in the cloud forest too?
They are normally found in the lowland rainforests, but they migrate into the highland cloud forests during breeding season. What the three-wattled bellbird is best known for, though, is its loud call. It makes these metallic bong and ding sounds, hence the name bellbird. It hardly sounds like a bird at all. Even an expert bird caller like me cannot do it justice.
Oh.
It doesn't sound like I'll be mistaking it for a quetzal.
Do you know the national bird of Costa Rica? Honestly, and you call yourself an ornithologist? The national bird of Costa Rica is the clay-colored robin. It's a plain-looking brown bird found throughout the country.
Why'd they make it the national bird then? Are there all kinds of better-looking birds like the quetzal?
The clay-colored robin has the most exquisite song. And I think it is part of the Costa Rican national character to choose a bird everyone knows and loves over prettier ones.
Somehow these people don't strike me as being very Latin.
Speaking as an ornithologist, I am rather happy with that choice. Not all birds have to be pretty. Oh, and just so you know, the quetzal is the national bird of Guatemala. The scarlet macaw and the great green macaw are also representative birds of Costa Rica. Macaws are a type of parrot, enormous, stately birds.
Macaw. I think I've heard that name somewhere before.
But of course you have. You are an ornithologist, no?
Stop it.
So, tell me, where do macaws live in Costa Rica today?
Oh, come on now.
I am only teasing you. Macaws live not in the cloud forests, but in the rainforests on the Pacific side of Costa Rica. In the past, they were a common sight all across the country. But lately, the population has decreased dramatically. One possible cause is the pesticide sprayed to facilitate large-scale banana cultivation.
Evicted from their own land, huh?
Thankfully, conservation efforts have been gaining some momentum lately.
Never heard the name Cosima before.
We're almost there. Come on, Matt. We're almost
then
there.
Again, I don't know
It's
many people
time for the
friends.
last break of the night, too.
Is it a common name?
No,
Let her
not
finish,
that common. But Wagner's second wife was named Cosima Francesca Gaetana Wagner.
Huh.
You know, Kojima is a common last name in Japan.
Kaz?
It's just funny how, you know, I'm part Japanese and Cecile's middle name is so close to Kojima.
It's funny how you're
Feels
always
like
listening in.
Destiny unfolding.
You think so?
Oui, oui. That's a beautiful name you have. Cecile Cosima Caminades. Wait a second. Cecile Cosima Caminades.
Cosima Caminades.
Hey, that's close to...
Close to what?
your name. It sounds almost like the sentence Kojima Caminades in Japanese.
And what does it mean, s'il vous plaît?
Well, kami is the word for God in Japanese. Nandesu, well, it's hard to explain, but placed after God, it would turn the sentence into is God.
Okay, so?
Kojima is God. Cecile's name is a message. I don't believe it. Kojima is God. Kojima is God.
Kaz.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that breaks a few rules, but...
Did you live in Paris your whole life before coming here?
Ah, yes. It is my favorite city. Paris is the world capital of art and culture. It has the latest fashion, the best cuisine, and the most elegant, refined people. The beauty of the Champs-Élysées at night is almost unearthly. The name comes from Elysium, the name of paradise in Greek mythology. Heaven, in other words.
Must be nice for some people. Not for me.
Are you saying the cultured life does not appeal to you?
I'm saying I never had a chance to lead one. Not that it appealed to me anyway.
You prefer war?
I don't like war. Life outside heaven just suits me better.
That is a hard way to live. But if you do ever come to France, I will show you around Paris. Then you will see what heaven on earth is really like.
Okay, so even though we have a few more Cecile tapes and some mission tapes left, it's break time. She's going to keep going, so I'm going to take that break now. Just getting a few things on. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes. Cool. See y'all in 10 minutes. Cheers.